The post-apocalyptic mountains of West Virginia are home to many creatures, but few are as horrifying as the Wendigo. This beast craves nothing more than flesh and has been terrifying these lands for many years. In this video, we are going to take a look at the real-world inspiration behind these creatures, the current in-game lore, and some truly dark stories about the Wendigos. Join me today as we learn about the Wendigos of West Virginia. Stories of cannibalism altering the human mind date back millennia to some of the earliest civilizations, from the Titans of ancient Greek mythology to the rituals of the Aztecs who believed to devour someone was to acquire their power. While these stories are found everywhere, it was the First Nations people of Canada who named those who feasted on others as Wendigos. The folklore first emerged as part of a belief system of the Algonquin-speaking tribes from around the Great Lakes region of North America. The tale of this devouring spirit spread throughout North America down through the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia. The Wendigo is generally considered to be a horrifying entity possessing and compelling an unlucky host to devour human flesh. Now, descriptions of the Wendigo's appearance have varied greatly over time, and a quick Google image search will conjure up images of antlered snow demons and giant reindeer-like beasts. In actuality though, these Hollywood-like depictions are not at all how indigenous people understood and described the creature. Ontario storyteller Basil Johnson, in his book From Legends of the Nahanni Valley, gives us a depiction of the true form of a Wendigo, and it reads as follows. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against its skin, its complexion the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed deep back into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloodied, unclean and suffering from the suppuration of flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. This pure interpretation can be seen in Fallout 76, and with such a horrifying mental image, it leads you to wonder what these beasts truly are, and what exactly made them this way. These stories of transformation into a Wendigo vary slightly depending on where you look, but mostly all of them start with greed, isolation, cannibalization, or a mixture of the three. Some cultures believe that it's an evil spirit that possesses a vulnerable soul once they have tasted human flesh. Others believe that eating human flesh starts a downward spiral where you eventually start to crave more flesh so badly that you shun yourself from society and hunt down people unlucky enough to venture into the woods. So the exact way that Wendigos in Fallout 76 came to be is still unknown. However, it is very interesting that the Wendigos in West Virginia existed before the bombs dropped. We know this by visiting Sugar Grove and finding the holotape named Cryptid Sighting Wendigo 1025.
Beverly Solomon, Cryptid Analyst, 102577. Wendigo Witness Report. Ooh, this is a spooky tale. Okay, so this is my own personal sighting. I was up at the ski lodge this past week, enjoying some well-deserved R&R. I guess I can never really be off the clock, though, because I happened to see something hunched on the slopes ahead of me. I thought it was some old coat, you know? I was moving pretty fast, so I was just trying to avoid it. Anyhow, it just unfurls as I get close. Must have been 10 feet tall, but just all skin and bones like a dead dog. It had a deer's skull cracked open in its hands from the fresh kill it was eating. And as I go by, I get this powerful cold feeling through my bones. I thought to myself, Bev, you really lucked out getting that tattoo before coming out here on this trip. I can't imagine what kind of things I want to see next.
With this information, we can safely assume that they did exist before the bombs fell, and I just find that fascinating. In the game, you can also find magazine copies of the Tales from the West Virginia Hills series. This is a pre-war magazine series that features stories about different monsters from West Virginia folklore. Each issue comes with holotapes containing a radio play story detailing people who have come into contact with these creatures. In the Curse of the Wendigo copy, we hear a story about a wealthy atomic plant owner named Richard Moore. Richard dangerously wants to speed up production past safe limits. This results in a radiation leak inside the plant. Richard gets exposed to the radiation, but he ends up surviving. He is then put into quarantine in his home, and over time he begins to show a hunger for meat, asking his wife to cook large steaks for dinner. His son begins to miss his father and really wants to show him his brand new cap gun, but his son is not allowed to see him due to the quarantine, but he goes to his father's room anyways.
Dad, did you fall asleep?
Jimmy,
That you out there, sport?
Yeah, it's me.
Jimmy, I'm hungry.
Okay, Dad. I'll go tell Godrich to make you something.
No. Why don't you come in, son? Pay your old man a visit.
I'm not supposed to get too close yet, remember?
Now, James, if your father says it's okay, then it's okay. Now, you come in here.
I don't know. You sure?
Positive. You come and give your dad a big hug. Now, Jimmy.
Well, all right. If you say it's okay.
There he is. There's my boy, looking fit as a fiddle.
Dad, what's wrong? You don't look better at all. You've gotten so thin I can see your bones. And you've lost all your hair, too. You look almost like a skeleton.
Oh, so sorry, Jimmy. But Daddy's hungry. So very, very hungry. Come closer, son. Come to Daddy.
What? No, Dad, no!
Now this holotape is very sad, but I think it shows us that radiation might have an effect on the creation of Wendigos in the Fallout series. The normal mythological recipe for a Wendigo is greed, isolation, and cannibalism. This holotape has all of those traits plus the addition of radiation from the power plant. Also, this is not the only Wendigo transformation caught on tape. We actually have a few accounts in the game of people documenting their transformation. One of the most notable transformations is found during a quest, A Key to the Past. In this quest, you are sent by Rose to the Wendigo Cave in search of a holotape, and a really quick interesting thing about this location is that it was actually called the Wendigo Cave even before the Great War, farther proving the Wendigo's existence in the area before the bombs dropped. But through exploring the cave, you will come across a very large open area littered with bodies. Blood covers the walls, and bones and guts are found in large piles. On a rock near the water, you will find a holotape.
Edie, darling Edie. Oh, how delicious you were. The sweet taste of your flesh as it passed down my throat. Oh, the syrupy warmth of your blood as it filled my stomach. What am I doing? Oh, Edie, she's dead. I killed her. I ate her. Oh, no. But I had to. I must eat. So hungry, starving. Need more. More flesh. More blood. Need more. Find more.
This holotape, just like the others, is pretty creepy and honestly sort of sad. The transformation seems to take a bit of time and they begin to slowly lose themselves. You can also find more quests and events like this in game revolving around the Wendigo creature, quests like That Sinking Feeling, and events like Campfire Fairy Tales and One Violent Night. But at this point in the video, I would like to discuss the Wendigo Colossus. These massive mutated Wendigos are very deadly enemies and also fairly rare to encounter. Really not much is known about how these creatures came to be, and you can only find them in nuke zones. However, I don't think that radiation alone is the sole cause of the Colossus mutation, mainly due to the existence of glowing Wendigos. A glowing creature is glowing due to the high amounts of radiation that it's taken over the course of its life, so I think that long-term exposure to radiation alone is not enough to transform a normal Wendigo into a Wendigo Colossus. Maybe this is a result of a large dose of radiation hitting them very quickly from a nuke blast causing a rapid change, or maybe even the radiation mixed with the heat of the blast fuses 3 different Wendigos together. Possibly even a few Wendigos got into contact with the FEV virus somehow and it fused them together like centaurs. I've even seen some people theorize that they act like super mutant behemoths, growing taller, larger, and stronger the longer that they live. But these are all just theories. We are given no answer in the lore as to how they are made, so we are just left to wonder. We do, however, have a developer comment regarding the design of the Wendigo Colossus. Nathan Perkapile, the original lead artist for Fallout 76, stated, "I wanted another huge creature and we had some old concepts of a bigger Wendigo when we were figuring out the initial Wendigo. So we iterated on that idea to make it even freakier and more unique. Whatever the case may be for these mutated Wendigos, I think they achieved their goal of making them much freakier and more unique." Now, another interesting thing about Wendigos is the relationship that they have with ghouls. You can often find them living together or wandering the waste as friends. Does the Wendigo not have a craving for ghoul flesh? And also, how do feral ghouls see them as friends? Lastly, if they do not attack feral ghouls, then in theory could a non-feral ghoul approach a Wendigo and not be attacked? These are questions that really have no direct answer, but I still find the relationship with ghouls to be very interesting. Now, I wish I had the answers to all of these questions, but I don't. The Wendigos are just some of the most mysterious enemies in Fallout 76, but one thing is for certain. Each Wendigo that we encounter was once a human, and that thought is very disturbing. Some of the stories make it sound like they were normal people once, just trying to survive. Now they are trapped in a ghoulish body searching for people to sink their teeth into. It makes me wonder, is it worth resorting to cannibalism in times of struggle? Or would it have been better for these people to starve to death so that they could save themselves from this horrible transformation? I want to thank you all for watching the second part of the Dark Lore series. I really hope you enjoyed it. This one was a ton of fun to make. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like or subscribe. It helps the channel a ton and it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you missed the first part of the series, I will put that down in the description below. But again, thank you all for watching, and as always, a massive thank you to all of the channel members: Stealtho Secto, Networkgate, Golty, Indica, Robert Kennard, Wandering Wastelander, Esdeath93, Joshua Graham, Lanthar, Anaristes, Fallout McFly, Captain Awesome, Citizen Girl, Chad of Fallout 76 Podcast, Heather Henderson, Yosevated, Patrick Ruda, 23 Icefire, Jay Smith, Argent Deer, Bowser Double Frang, Ice Cream Manny, Chris Decker, Theodore, Digital Aardvark, Lone Samurai OG, Diathan Gaming, Christy Mellon Schwitz. You guys are amazing. I love you guys, and have a great day.